And I'll go above and beyond what, the expectation is if I know what is expected of me. And I do try and use my instincts and help out as much as I can. I do as many house jobs as I can. I do washing, I do cleaning, I help feed, I do nappies, I do bedtime routines, all that stuff where I can. And I don't mind doing most of it. But what I do mind at the moment, which is really having a knock on effect of me, is doing it to the way she wants to do it rather than the way I want to do it. And I hate to say this, sometimes I try to just cope. Sometimes I do it the way I want to, not because even if I know it's not the best, just because I need to get something done quickly, or because I'm just not in a very good place. And sometimes it's just a case of, well, I simply don't have octopus arms and I can't do too much at once. And it's frustrating that I'm being asked sometimes to go beyond my capability. Um, and then I get called out on it, and that makes me feel really bad. Makes me feel really, you know, it lowers my self-esteem. Another thing that's really upsetting me about the parenting side of things is it's not just parenting. This is also just being married as well. The constant things going missing. It's usually toys, but sometimes it's even household appliances and kitchen stuff. Things in this house ever since we've had kids just keep going missing, and she always tells me when something's missing, and I just don't want to hear it. I'm sorry, because it's so triggering. Um, I don't mind if I could just say, okay, I'll help you look for it. But there's this demandingness. I must do it now. And I know she doesn't always mean that, but yeah, it just comes across that way all the time. These aren't the only things. I may have to do a follow-up video as to what else just really upsets me, but it's like stuff like if the nap time is wrong, if the nap times are wrong, something's gone missing and I can't find it. I know I didn't lose it, but I'm told I must have been the one who lost it because I dealt with it then, only to discover it was her or something like that. It makes me question my sanity, and it just makes me feel so low. And it's incidents like this that is making me self-harm. Or when I'm trying to do something in routine, I'm trying to like do a bedtime routine with one child, and the other child is playing up. But I've got to go and see the other child, even though I'm trying to do something with the other child because she's too busy doing something else, like choosing an outfit or something like that. Well, I offered to help choose an outfit. Uh, I offered to help choose outfits. She won't let me because I don't have the right fashion sense. It's like, I get that my fashion sense is probably not as good as hers, and that's fine. I don't mind. But what I do mind is part of me wants to say, don't tell me I'm not helping enough if you don't accept the help I can do. I'm just fighting to survive. I don't want to necessarily get everything perfectly right. I just want to get through it. I just want to move on. In fact, if I'm honest, if the circumstances were different in the sense that I didn't have to get out of bed, I probably wouldn't even want to get out of bed in the mornings at the moment because I just feel like there's just no point to it. Like, I just feel like there's no end to this. As I say, I don't know where it all began, but I'm trying to go backwards. But I know that things got worse when the first one was born, because that's when all the workload increased, and it was the shock, and it was the sleep deprivation, and it was then that I found that there was just too much to do all the time, which probably wasn't the case. It didn't help that we moved and bought our first house literally at the same time as having our number one. And buying a house, as you may know, can be stressful. It wasn't supposed to be this way. We were supposed to buy the house before having the children, but unfortunately it got delayed because of problems in the chain. But anyway, another problem is money. Um, I'm so upset because at the time, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I could afford most things. I had a much lower salary. Like I'm on what? I'm I'm not going to say my exact salary, but I'm over £20,000 a year at the moment. My salary. Um, I'm just talking my salary. I'm not talking my wife's at the moment. I'm actually doing much worse financially now than I was when I was only earning 9,000 a year. And I'm deadly serious. That sounds ridiculous because this stupid economy mess up. I don't know who I'm angry with about that, but this house was actually affordable when we bought it. Now the mortgage has just gone stupidly through the roof, as is the energy prices, and I'm at the point where I can't really cope with it. So now I'm in a position where I already have bad mental health problems. I've had to miss out on loads of activities that I used to enjoy doing a lot because of COVID shutdown, because of COVID lockdowns and social distancing and all that. And believe me, I probably might go into that rant a little bit later as well. But now I'm in a position where now we can all meet up, now we can socialise, and now I can't afford to. And I'm devastated because I've got bad mental health issues. I'm now trapped to be in the one place I don't want to be all the time. And that's exactly the situation I was in COVID all the time. Whenever I complained about it, you're selfish. You're just going to spread the disease to everybody. Shut up. Sorry, I'm being a bit immature about how I'm speaking here, but you know what I mean. I'm not saying I wanted to let the virus rip or have everyone die. I knew I'd go into the COVID discussion, but I just could not stand the fact that we all had to freaking stay. I know that we need to protect the NHS. I understand that. And the doctors and nurses, they work very, very hard for us. And, but why did it even get to that level? Like, that is just not how humanity is supposed to be, in my opinion. Sorry, but I just feel we went too far, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist, but I'm just venting because that really did kill my mental health. That was when the self-harming actually started, was during the COVID lockdown. Because again, I was in a position where I felt I was so unhappy being with my family at home. And that's another trigger for me, by the way. I see other parents going on about how they're looking forward to family time. Family time is the one thing I hate most in the world right now. I hate it. I just always want to be at work. How depressing is that? I always want to be working. Even though I'm not always working, I'm not a workaholic. I used to enjoy time away from work. But lately, with the things that are going, I'm constantly looking for any excuse to be at work. And yeah, during the COVID lockdown, exactly. I was ready to return to my social life, and I couldn't because of COVID. I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. I broke down crying multiple times over it. And I got so angry with everybody constantly promoting keep the lockdown longer, keep the lockdown, don't lift any restrictions, blah blah blah. No, lift them, I say. Even though I'm not an anti-vaxxer because I got my vaccines. I'm not even a COVID denier. I never said the virus didn't exist, but I just want to have a life that's more normal. And I'm sorry, uh, you know, I'm not going to go too much into politics in this rant, but it got to the point where it's like I might actually have it's to the point where which political party is going to vote for COVID restrictions and which are going to vote against them is going to affect who I vote for next. No, I'm not kidding. Sorry if that offends you, but if that offends you, tough because I need to get better. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, getting a little passionate here. So trying to get this conversation a little bit more civil. I just miss what my life used to be like. I don't know, I'm probably not alone in this, but I talked about what my hobbies were before. I used to go to the cinema a lot. I have been to the cinema once in about 4 years. That's one of my main hobbies. I've done once in 4 years. I'm a keen performer. I've had a couple of little concerty performances lately. In terms of an Amdram show, I have done one show in the last 5 years because of all this, because I'm being so controlled by what's going on around me, because of the parenting, because of how I was behaving, because of the COVID stuff. It's like, so I just feel I've lost my identity. I just feel I've lost who I am. I used to be quite a smiler. I used to be somebody who just sung a lot, just for a laugh of it. And it's like, that used to be a trait I really liked, and people liked it about me. The one person who's supposed to like that, who's supposed to love me more than anything, is finding the traits that I thought made me irritating. I feel like I've just lost so much. Um, I'm also a writer, an author, and about a year before COVID happened, I was getting my work was getting published, but after COVID hit, the publishers I was working with ended up going out of business, and I lost all my publishing work. I actually ended up spending more money than making money on the books I was publishing, and because they're play scripts, they're meant for performance. Now nobody wants to perform my play scripts because A, they're not with a publisher anymore. No other publisher will take my work besides the one I did because of the nature of what's in the work. I can't really talk about what they are without revealing my identity, so I'm not going to say what those works are. So I can't get another publisher not because of the content. Well, actually, no, the only two publishers that will take the type of scripts that I've written will not take them because it doesn't meet their standard. Every other publisher I've been to said it meets our standard, but we don't take that type of script. The one company that I had has gone bust. No one else will take them. So now I've put them on my own website, but nobody wants them because they all want to do well-known plays. They all want to do well-known stuff because, they've lost money due to COVID. And then they couldn't even get performed because of COVID. So that's another thing I've lost. Used to go skiing every year. There were a few years I missed out. I'm a keen skier. I said that at the beginning of this rant. And do you know, honestly, it's a ridiculous thing, but I miss it. 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 I miss flying on planes. I'm a keen traveller. I love travel. Stuck at home because I've lost all my money, and I've got responsibilities. Responsibilities I didn't know would be even that grand. I just feel, yeah, with the skiing thing, it's like, I know it's a stupid thing to get upset about, but it's just another thing. It's one thing on top of another. I know that, as I say, I just, there's a big part of me that just yearns for my freedom back. I feel like I'm just stuck at home, work, dad, work, dad, work, dad, work, dad, dad, dad. And it's not what I want. I want that freedom to go and do stuff, and I don't have that anymore. As I say, I've been able to luckily do one Amdram show in the last 5 years, and I was lucky to even do that because of all this stuff going on, because of me being controlled. Everything else out there is controlling me. I've got no control over anything. And, yeah. I know it's a stupid thing to miss flying or miss skiing or miss summer holidays. I used to enjoy flying out for summer holidays. And even if I did go skiing right now, I'd probably have to take the family with me because and they're not skiers because that would be the responsible thing to do. Because every forum I was trying to ask, is it acceptable to go skiing not by yourself, but when you got wife and like two very, very young children, and they said, and every forum was basically saying, no, it's irresponsible, it's selfish. And I was like, well, I don't want to be selfish, but I miss it, for crying out loud. It's been years. And it's just not nice to have things taken away. And I could make a workaround. I am prepared. I'd be prepared for her to do it. I'd be prepared to be, but she probably wouldn't do it.